All right, we're going to go ahead and continue with another problem. So once again, first step is to go ahead and put the opposite of this number in the box. Now this time our degree is 4, so I'm going to go ahead and put x to the 4th above and go down from there. So x cubed, x squared, x down to my constant. And then remember, right underneath those, I'm going to go ahead and put my coefficients in front of each one of those. So for this problem, we have a coefficient of 5 in front of x to the 4th. Now notice how we don't have an x cubed anywhere. If that's the case, you put a 0 in. X squared has a coefficient of -2. Once again, just like x cubed, there's no term with an x, which means I'm going to put 0 in. And then there is a constant, so I'm going to put -1 in for the constant. And then we go through the steps. First thing you do is drop down the 5. And then we go ahead and multiply 5 times -1 is -5. That's how we get that side number. Then we add straight down. 0 plus -5 is -5. Once again, to go diagonally, we multiply by the number in the box. So -5 times -1 is +5. Then you add straight down. -2 plus 5 is 3. 3 times -1 is -3. So put that next. Then I add 0 plus -3 is -3. And then -3, I multiply by -1 to get +3. And then I add straight down. -1 plus 3 is +2. And then once again, as a reminder, since it was x to the 4th originally, and we divided everything by an x, this is x cubed. This will become x squared because we go down by 1 every time. This will be your x. This will be your constant. And this one would be your remainder. So you would write your answer, your final answer is 5x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 3 plus 2 over x plus 1. And the x plus 1, remember, comes from whatever you divided by originally. All right, exciting things. Let's go ahead and do our last problem. So that's this one right here. Just make sure we have this down. So once again, I take x minus 2. I put the opposite of that number in the box. Then I go ahead and look at my highest exponent, which is 3. So that tells us we have a degree of 3. So I put x cubed right here, and then I go down from there. X squared, x, and then my constant. And then right underneath each one of those, I put my coefficient. So the coefficient in front of x cubed is 1. The coefficient in front of x squared, since there isn't a term with x squared, is 0. Then -5 is the coefficient for x, and 7 is our constant. And hopefully you're getting this process down, because remember, the first step is always bring down that first number. Then I go ahead and multiply 1 times 2, because I always multiply by what's in the box. That gives me 2. And then to find the new number underneath, you add straight down. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Then I take 2 and I multiply it by the number in the box. So 2 times 2 is 4. Then I add straight down and I get -1. Then once again, I do -1 times 2. That gives me -2. I add straight down and I get 5. And then as I stated before, since we divide everything by an x cubed will really, or not x cubed will really, this first term will become x squared since I divided it by x. This one will be x, then our constant, then a remainder, because you go down 1 exponent for each one. So your final answer would be written as 1x squared plus 2x minus 1, and then you add your remainder, where the remainder is on the numerator of the fraction, and then you divide by the divisor. So x minus 2. There's your final answer. Now, just a little side note for your homework. Some of them will ask you to use the remainder theorem or something along those lines. Don't worry about that. I don't want you to do that. I still want you to do those problems. One of your problems will be set up something similar to this, where it might say x squared plus 5x minus 3, and then they'll have a semicolon, a equals negative 4. This a is going to represent the number you put in the box. Okay, so you'll just put negative 4 in the box. And then I want you to go ahead and do synthetic division like normal. So throughout the whole problem, or throughout the whole worksheet, regardless of what the directions say, just go ahead and do synthetic division for me. So best of luck. I hope everything goes well. Have a good one.